Welcome everybody to another episode of Hunter Talk Monday night. It's Monday night. We don't change our nights unlike the LCS. But we do change our times. So sorry for we're a little bit late tonight. Sorry about that. It's all good because we're here. We're going to bring you the same great conversation, and we've had an hour longer to think about it.
That's right.
Everybody
and
wins.
I spent that hour just watching and rewatching key moments from the last weekend.
You definitely weren't doing anything else that was important. That's for sure.
Nope. Well, what else would I have to do? It's Monday.
It's Monday. Hunter Talk is our job.
It's weird though. It is, yeah. People underestimate how much you get from bits. Every once in a while we get a bit, and that just keeps
keeps the lights on.
Going. Keeps the lights on. We got LCS so soon. Is Wednesday? Is it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
Yeah, it is. It is
like,
super
it's
weak.
Nearly LCS Eve.
That's right.
It's so weird.
It is weird to not do the podcast like very soon after it. You know, I don't know if we've got some very seasoned Hunter Talkers in the chat that might remember where we used to do it like Sunday night. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch the game. Then I don't know what were we doing?
We were giving our raw, live, in the moment feelings about the
basically
games.
A reaction pod.
That's right. And it was sorry, I'm messing up your video. It was a beautiful thing. But again, this pod's gonna be just as beautiful. So
agreed. You don't have your Discord video on, by the way.
Oh, why would I do that?
I should have mentioned that earlier.
Sorry. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay, NA production. That's your daily dose of NA production, everybody. Okay. So let's talk about these games. We had the big game. The big game was, of course, Team Liquid.
Super Bowl.
Had nothing to do with FlyQuest at all. Glenn, what's up? Good to see you. Been a long time. We're gonna have a take from you that we're gonna get to. So stay tuned in about an hour. Team Liquid. Team Liquid was the match I was the most excited about because I think it's like, you know, Liquid's not great right now, but they are good. And I think they had potential to like build, right? And I know like right now we're like, yeah, I don't know. But like they're gonna be a solid team. I have faith in that. And you know, with FlyQuest at the top of the table, it was a good chance for us to get a pulse on where the team is, especially because did week 1 against C9 count? I don't think it counted. Did it count? It didn't count.
No.
I think we can GA that one. Or did we already GA that from the standings and the record? Game 1 versus C9 did not count, 100 Thieves fans. Congratulations. We're 4-1.
Yeah. I think it doesn't count.
It doesn't count. So Team Liquid was the first like good measuring stick game for us. It was weird. I feel like I came away since it's happened, I was just like resting easy, and I was like, yeah, you know, we smashed Team Liquid, no problem. Yeah, FlyQuest, Team Liquid, we dispatched. It was closer. It was closer than I thought, and we were the benefactors of some poor decision making, and we made our own fair share of poor decisions too. So Team Liquid game, not the cleanest game we've played.
No.
But plenty to build on, plenty of positives. The first thing is I'm having fun watching Tenacity solo kill other top laners.
That's been a cool recurring segment of our games.
Yeah. It's really nice, isn't it?
There's got to be stats. Somebody's really good at stats. Who's the rookie who has it's like we got to come up with a couple things for this, Cole. What is the name of this award? Somebody who solo kills their lane opponent, every lane opponent in the LCS in one split. That's like, call it like the trophy wall. We'll workshop this some more. Put it to chat. But you know, like that, has that ever happened? I don't know if it's ever happened.
Solo kill every lane opponent that you face.
You get 2 shots.
That would be awesome. This needs to be a thing. Is this not a thing?
Right?
This needs to be a thing.
Can we send this? How do we submit this to the LCS? They are looking for some ideas.
As you know, they pay close attention to us.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm asking. I'm pleading with anybody else out there to please find a way. But maybe it's not that uncommon. I don't know. But I got to imagine there's not a rookie who's done it, right? Surely there's not a rookie who's done it. And is he still a rookie?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not going to count his like lock-in
We're not.
game.
Yeah. It's like a 0.08 of
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Legal limit. It's below the legal limit.
Tenacity was below the legal limit to be a rookie. Oh my gosh. This is off to a great start. We've come up with a new award.
That's my idea.
And Jordan made a classy joke.
Yeah. I'm loving this this contribution he's making. And the thing I really like about it is every once in a while, the observer will show up like moments before the solo kill
It's just like Rec League, isn't it? It's just like this is like watching like laning in the bot lane, and then all of a sudden one auto left on top lane solo kill.
Yeah, and you're like, what happened?
We're gonna hope for a replay. Is all.
I guess we'll get a replay. Yeah, I love that. And this was like a mighty trophy.
This was Summit, right? That's what I'm saying. Like,
this is Summit.
Whatever happened to Summit, man? We really did bust him open, didn't we? We really did. We really did stop him from working the same way anymore. So weird, man. So weird.
Everybody says that. They're like during these games, and I feel like after, if you listen to some of the commentary, it's like, oh yeah, this is Summit, you know? Like, this isn't the Summit I remember. The Summit I remember was he was unkillable and killed everyone else. Like, that was more or less what he did. Until we changed the equation. I don't know what we did to him.
We Alfari'd
reconfigured. Yeah, exactly. I don't think Alfari even plays this game anymore. He's moved on.
Didn't he go to like Brazil or something? I thought I saw.
Pretty sure he's a chess streamer. Right? Did he go to Brazil?
I thought I heard he went to South America somewhere. Anyway,
we come up with an award. What's the award for?
We definitely need to come up with an award for that. So we'll put our heads together with chat.
Destroy someone's career. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Another award, you mean? I thought you were going back to the trophy.
This is an entirely different one.
Okay.
Somehow, still both originating from top lane. Why is it the top lane is the source of all prestigious awards?
Because it was someday first.
I'm gonna look that up. Let me take a note. Get to that sometime here. That's a really cool
your
idea.
Assistant in. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, solo kill from Tenacity, and I thought like it was an interesting game because obviously he had to keep Summit in check, and then he had a chance on the Jax to like I think that was his second Jax game, I think of this season. So he's had a couple times to kind of carry, and he did okay in the Team Liquid game. The solo kill obviously was great, but I thought he played a lot better in the FlyQuest game, which we'll talk about. We also got a slew of effective Talia ults. We've often dreamed what that might look like. Am I not mistaken? Didn't Abdaga Talia ult the wrong direction last year?
Probably at least once.
I think I'm remembering that right. We got a lot of like geometry going on with Bjergsen, man. He was tracing the lines. He was placing it exactly where he wanted to slice up team fights and wall people off objectives. Pretty cool, right? Cool. Seemed to know how to use it when he needed it for the mobility reasons at the right time. He always had it when he was supposed to have it and used it when he was supposed to use it. And that is like 90% of the battle.
Yeah. It's almost like one of those weird mobile games, you know, where it's like you have to draw a line and avoid certain things. Because you'd always get like, and your bot lane is excluded from this fight. It's like, see them later. They're gone now.
Yeah.
You know?
They must wait 4 seconds to join.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless I catapult one of them in, then they're in. Yeah. There they go.
That's right. Unless I W somebody. Yeah. And didn't he do that one over the wall? Didn't he pull someone over the wall with that? Oh,
yeah,
my
Harry
gosh.
over the wall.
Yeah. And Harry was
popped right in.
immediately destroyed. So loved seeing that. Bjergsen, it's so different feeling to watch him play for you instead of against you, right?
It is.
And it's just kind of like there's this calm there where it's just like, yeah, that is stable and good. And you just, it's like set it and forget it, right?
Yeah. It's crazy. What a weird feeling.
I mean, it's obviously it's not leading to a win every match, but it's hard to imagine that being a problem area for us right now. I think he's so far having a good season. And then our other veteran on the team, veteran presence, the other GOAT in Doublelift. Okay, we need another award for habitual quadra kills.
Oh my gosh.
How many quadra kills is this man gonna have? He cannot penta. He cannot penta.
I see another word coming. It's pretty this one was pretty sneaky, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Like this one, it was not expected given the circumstances.
I was gonna say a sneaky 14 kills.
Yeah. By the end of it, it wasn't sneaky at all. It was very loud. But this one was like, oh, we've lost the fight. Nope. We have a quadra. Actually, we got a quadra. Okay, cool.
Do you know what we've seen from him? The lack of pentas is pretty good evidence that Doublelift is washed, says Dark. We've seen a lot of forward flashes out of him. And only one Cody Sun out of him, I think.
Over the wall.
He was renowned. Yeah, he was renowned for forward flashing and dying. Now we have someone who forward flashes for success in most cases. Can't say enough about the killer instinct factor, right? Like the dude wants to do damage and wants to kill people, and that's awesome. Like it's there was just like some unrealized tension or something, like just didn't feel all the way there over the past year with FBI. He was timid seeming. There is no timid in Doublelift at all. So it's
but he's not inting.
No,
you know,
I mean, he did it over the wall at one time, but even that was like kind of not an int. He smelled blood in the water, you know?
Yeah. He thought he had an angle. You don't get to, like, at this point, I think we have enough evidence to say like his instincts are a strong suit. That's one of his strengths.
Yeah.
Developed over the course of a GOAT type career. Those are continuing to serve him well.
Yeah.
So,
and you know, you mentioned he's not inting. Now we have the inting bases covered from time to time, and that's kind of the problem, right? So that's unfortunately the rain in this cloud is we're seeing a little bit of jittery moves from the rookies. We saw some questionable tenacity moments. I think, like, when I watch it, this is what I remember. I remember the 100x days. And I just feel like that particular group of players always pulled off the most miraculous, like, fights late in the game. And it just seems like they wanted to be unpredictable and they thrived off of that, right? And so
right.
I think that DNA is deep within Tenacity. And I don't hate it, honestly. I don't hate it because, you know what I mean? Like we've had players who've done some inting before, and it was like, oh, dang, because they they're not really like going for stuff a lot of the times. It would just be like an int, you know?
Right. Yeah. Like, oh, you shouldn't have walked there. That's the wrong place to walk.
Yeah. He seems to be introducing a little chaos, and I don't. It's like something that will probably get reined in time, right?
Yeah,
it's fixable, but he still like has that. I'm gonna go like let's throw them off and see what we can pick up here. Yeah, and that's gonna be one of those things where if you're a really good cohesive team that's communicating well, that has clear direction, fast decision making, that can end up being really strong suit. In fact, I would say that's like the Cloud9 of the past, right? Has felt like that, where they're just instantaneous decision making and commitment to it, and then hands to back it up. We're not quite there yet, obviously. No. But there's a potential to get there, and a potential to eliminate the the less successful attempts. So, I'm not exactly mad at it, but we do seem to have some macro problems and some just general tough, like, we're not quite executing super well. You and I are both fans of the Doublelift Weekly "What Did I Do Wrong" stream.
It's I in quotes.
Yeah. What did we do wrong, should say.
Yeah.
But one of the things he mentioned was like, look, we cannot execute this side lane thing well. And it felt like that. It was dragging on. It was like, all right, we've got Jax. Can we send Jax away and have him push the side lane and then count on a timely teleport? The answer is no.
Not yet.
Not yet. We are not yet able to push the side lane and count on a timely teleport, but we're working to get there, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's early. He is below the legal limit of he's a 0.08 top laner.
I mean, he's getting close now. He's got a solid 6 games under his belt. And a lot of people whose career is shorter than that in the LCS.
Or who
Here's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Look, yeah, I think it's fair. The parts of his game that you really want to go well, think about this, right? Other players, other rookies who have had a like almost failure to launch in the LCS, right? What's the place that everybody notices them? It's in lane. It's them getting absolutely bullied in lane, pushed around, chain ganked, solo killed, flame horizoned. None of that. We're seeing none of that. So I think this is the good news. And we've talked about this before, right? Like, I remember a specific conversation we had. I think it was about, maybe it's even Ryoma. But it was like, if we can just get his in lane, aggression, just kind of like coach him up to really try to develop a lead for himself. It's so hard to do that, I think.
Yeah.
Like I feel like as a player, you either have that or you don't. And I think for, like a lot of the players that you think about who have had successful careers, there's a version of that where you're not getting solo kills every game. Like that's not a prerequisite to being a serviceable or even an all-time great player. You don't have to do that. So I think the fact that he's doing that is awesome. Like, it shows that he has that switch, right? He sees people greeting and he's always hungry to punish them.
Yeah.
That's happening a lot. And I think a lot of players don't do that. And maybe, you could say, sure, he's being underestimated or people are being super greedy or whatever. But give him credit, give him credit for continuing to collect these trophies with the solo kills. And then I think the other stuff kind of just works itself out over time. Like, that's what reviewing tape is for. That's what, it's like watching Doublelift videos. I can envision a team session where they're looking at these things and they're saying, next time do this. And next time he does that. Right. But like, it's so much harder to do that in lane, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong, right? It could be like, hey, next time a guy greeds you under tower like this, punish him. But I feel like you got to have that instinct. If it's just like, hey, when you're setting up for the Baron, go this way instead of that way. It's like, oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's not super hard to.
It's not
get
a
yourself
feel
to
thing.
do.
Yeah.
Right. It's almost like this is theory. He's getting the theory down. And I would say he seems very comfortable with the art of the laning phase, which is good. That's where you want him to be. And I'm really not worried at all. I think it's going to be fine. And I would honestly, I'm not smart enough about the game. I don't know enough about like the theory, to have noticed these things. Like the late TP, I didn't even catch it on my first watch. I'm not I'm not good at this game. Like I'm not keeping an eye out for those things, and I'm sure that a lot of people saw that. And like, of course, now I notice it because I watched Doublelift stream. But that kind of stuff, again, that'll get worked out.
Yeah, and I think like one of the encouraging things is that Doublelift mentioned in his stream that like Tenacity can take the correction, which is good if he's not being hard headed. Because obviously, like, this is a young dude, very young guy who did very well early and then got kind of like the 100 Thieves blessing. So he's been around for a bit and has a reputation. It's easy to get an ego when that's the case. So that's always been like a back of the mind worry that I have. So it's good to hear Doublelift be like, nah, he can take it, because, that's encouraging and positive. I think for now, it's like playing pretty well. I think there's a crazy amount of potential. Pencil him in for 3 or 4 deaths every week, every game. He might have 8 kills to go with him, or he might have 2. But right now, if we can just like reduce the death column very slowly, we'll be in a great place, I think, with this kid. And he's fun to watch. He's fun to watch.
Oh yeah,
cannot deny that.
There's one game I can't even remember who it was against. Maybe it was Immortals. I don't know. But they were just
Immortals?
Immortals Progressive. They were just pouring everything in, like every cooldown into it. I think he was playing Renekton. It's like, okay. Well,
that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like their hidden objective this game was to kill Tenacity 5 times.
Yeah, they had their side quest.
Yeah. Yeah. They got it.
Everybody gets a $50 bonus for the weekend. Good job, guys.
A gift card to Jersey Mike's or something.
Yeah, the Jersey Mike's bounty.
Hey, good job, guys.
Have an Italian on us. Okay.
Mike's way.
All right.
All right.
So game lasted a little bit longer than it probably should have. It was closer than I remembered. I came out feeling a little better than I think objectively it went. That's all I wanted to say about that game. I'm glad we won. We both predicted we would win that game.
We did.
I think it's safe to say at the moment that we've earned our reputation above Team Liquid for right now. I have to go back and check the record and see the last time Team Liquid really got the better of us, because it's been very lopsided now for like, was it a year and a half or so, right?
Yeah.
We talked about that on the like was it a reverse sweep? Yeah, it's a reverse sweep in playoffs and everything. It's just like Team Liquid they used to own us, and for the last year and a half or so, it's just flipped entirely. So kind of interesting to see.
We've boogeymaned him.
Yeah. So that was like, the stepping stone to the real matchup against FlyQuest. Who is undeniably the best team in the LCS at this point.
Turns
out that whoever put them first in their power rankings was correct.
Yeah.
Regardless of what we said in the power rankings. Maybe we need to update our power rankings.
Could be.
I don't know if people are still updating their power rankings, or if we need to update the week 1 power rankings.
That's preseason content. They're done with that now. That's done.
But yeah, it's FlyQuest. And so what do you do when you face a tough challenge and you need every ounce of effort and skill and advantage that you can find deep inside your players? You pull out Maokai.
Oh, I was going to say go to Jersey Mike's. But yeah, Maokai.
Number 14, Mike's Way.
Maokai, Mike's Way.
No, not going to do it. Yeah, so strong meta pick, right?
Yep.
No, it doesn't seem to be closer style, right?
Agreed.
Maokai, we hadn't seen it yet. this split, I was hoping we might not see it this split. It just does not
But
seem
Cole,
like his kind of champion, man.
yeah, we say this about closer. Remember, we say this about Sejuani, and then he played Sejuani. We're like, it's
Well, his
maybe.
Sejuani was objectively not good last year.
I know.
And
Perhaps Cole, the Maokai is objectively not good,
for
but it could become good
now,
for now. Exactly.
yeah.
What did he build? Cole, was it an AP or was it a full tank?
Let's take a look at the Maokai build he used.
Mm.
Glenn the Poet in chat saying, at least it wasn't Poppy. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Not, I mean, at this point, I'm not sure what the difference is. Just a champion that doesn't fit his personality, I think.
Didn't Fly went Sejuani into this?
Yes, and absolutely popped off. Spica popped off on Sejuani.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay, 'cause
remember what the score was. I can look it up.
We
here.
went Sejuani into Liquid's Maokai, and I felt very good about how that went. So clearly that's the play, and clearly Spica played the play.
4-2 and 17 on Sejuani, and honestly, it felt like he had a bigger impact than that scoreline demonstrates. I thought Spica played an incredible game, and I thought Closer played Maokai.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I don't know, man. I can't even point to why. Maybe it's the lack of mobility, or I don't know, but it just feels like it's just not the right kind of champ for him. And so I don't know.
It's got a great ult.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
And that's not.
But it's not
like
the kind of ult that Closer's known for, right? Yeah, like Closer wants an ult that is going to damage somebody's champion and perhaps mental. And
yeah, he wants a dragon kick.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
He doesn't want crawling roots.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm gonna root you in place.
Like he's just not in my mind. Okay, Poppy ult, right? Poppy ult.
Oh gosh,
devastating in the right hands.
Devastating in the wrong hands too, just not for the right team.
But you kind of know what I'm saying? Like it's these like team fight utility ults that I just don't think they're his speed. You know, his speed is
he wants to
Sonic
go fast.
Wave resonating strike. It's he wants to be doing 300 APM ults. Okay,
look,
press R.
Even Jarvan, like Jarvan, which we haven't always loved him on, but he's had good games on. Jarvan's ult is kind of like, yeah, you're trapped in this meteor area. But he can at least do damage and mix it up in there too. You know what I mean? It's just Maokai just like, I'm going to root you, throw some follow-up saplings, and I might get the, whatever it's called, twisted approach or whatever.
You've got saplings in every bush, Cole. Watch out.
Don't go to that bush. Don't go to that bush.
Here's another one he's got, Viego. You have to play as every champion in the game to be effective. So it's just different.
Yeah.
It's just different, I think is what we're getting at.
Oh man, I'm looking back at his champ history. There are a lot of Poppy losses from recent history there. There's a lot of red Poppy.
I bet he doesn't like Poppy.
I don't think he likes Poppy. I don't think he practiced it either. Okay. So that was Maokai. The biggest, perhaps, right? I think the biggest storyline here was the Doublelift versus Prince. Right?
I mean, where certainly from a scriptwriter perspective.
Doublelift was having an MVP level split up to that point, and Prince was obviously like an even better, even more stats wise effective split. So seeing them, new fresh face versus the old king, it was pretty awesome. And until we lost a lot. Xayah Rakan combo can be freaking awesome, as we've seen it. There's always like a surprising amount of damage in the Xayah kit. But yeah, we didn't have enough support from the Rakan. It felt like it just wasn't. The duo thing wasn't really working. I don't want to like chalk this all up to Busio. I thought this was, I think, Busio's worst game that he's played so far. But I don't know. The Azir support was kind of bad too. It was kind of bad, but remember we GA'd that one, so it doesn't count.
Yep. That's right.
That was that was the C9 game.
Scratch it.
So of the games that count, I think this was Busio's worst. And yeah, it fell flat, right? We didn't get this like huge, like, you know, who's going to get to 10 kills first kind of matchup. And that was pretty sad.
I mean, here's something to call out in that regard. A lot of bans thrown Doublelift's way. I think you got the bans in this.
Yes.
I know he had at least 2. Or no, I guess Zeri Jin. So like that's, you know, in my mind I was like, oh, Zyra Khan, wow. But teams are starting to not let him play what he's been most dominant on, you know.
Yeah. Did you so it was,
or sorry,
it was
no,
Zeri, Ashe, Caitlyn.
Lucian.
We banned Lucian. They banned
that's it. Okay.
They banned Zeri, Ashe, Caitlyn. They watched get it. Okay. Quick aside. FlyQuest did the one thing no LCS team seems to be able to do, which is watch the games and don't let the people play their power picks.
Right. Yeah.
We've had trouble with that. Every team's had trouble with it. FlyQuest was like, hey, Doublelift, been kind of good on Zeri, Caitlyn. Let's get them on out of here. Right?
Yeah.
You see?
Ashe could be a support too. Get her out.
It's not hard.
2 birds with one stone.
Yeah.
I thought I remembered them going triple ADC ban. And yeah, it turns out they did. So anyway, Zyra Khan. I was watching Cage Rules review of this one. If you haven't watched it, highly recommend it. But he was kind of like, why did they pick it so early? Like 2-3 Zyra Khan is kind of a weird, and you're blinding it.
Maybe and then he was they felt very strongly about pairing the duo together, which did not work.
But like his point was, you know what works really well against that? Like a Nautilus. Sure enough. So and that's really what got him in lane. It's like there was a couple great hooks from Winsome. And
a little bit of disrespect, perhaps.
That was basically the way it went, you know. So I don't know, but I agree. This is the first time that I think we've seen Doublelift pretty neutralized. Like he just didn't have a chance to get in this game. And I think that's, you know, that's certainly if you're not like we're used to him absolutely destroying. And that's, you know, it's easy to have 14 kills when you're as far ahead as he is, and you can turn a quadra in a losing team fight, right?
Yeah.
Like you got to be strong to do that. You've got to be strong to literally one-shot somebody. And this just was not. Zaya was not at that power level.
No,
at any point in this
game. We didn't even last that long to get that to that power spike. The game was quicker than I remembered. Again, it's like I kind of brushed off these games a little bit in my head, but when I rewatched them, I was like, yeah, no, this game didn't go very well at any point. It felt like we were kind of in it for a while, like maybe longer than we would have expected or whatever, right? It was fairly close.
Yep.
We were punching back, right?
Yeah.
We got the 2 kills around Dragon Pit, and then we had Tenacity kind of like pulling rabbits out of his hat at some time. So I guess we didn't get to that yet. So on the Fiora, he was our Obi-Wan Kenobi. He was our only hope for that game. And honestly, a couple moments where it really looked like he might be able to do something miraculous. But didn't quite have enough juice.
The next defense was pretty miraculous. That was some Dayask.
Yeah, it was pretty good. But ultimately, not enough. I thought.
I really thought that last fight could work.
Yeah, I know, right? But we got that double kill around Dragon Pit, like kind of early on to make sure we didn't get completely like bounced from the game. I thought was really important. And yeah, it just didn't end up getting all the way across the finish line, which was a little too bad. I mean, he was like 1v4, getting people really low, but they were C9ing him, you know, where they just kind of like really smart positioning and kite it out and make sure he doesn't get anything and any resets or whatever. So that was that. I mean, was this Tenacity's best game of the split?
Probably.
He looked the most impactful, and it was the most. It was the most where you were like, yeah, if we're gonna win this game, it's from him.
Yeah, for sure. Which is kind of weird because I mean, like I think he's had other good games. It just hasn't. It hasn't, from a scoreline standpoint, hasn't looked as good as this game.
Yeah.
But like I don't want to say that there are other games because like it's just he's playing his role in this one, which is 1v9. Like, please, your only hope.
Yeah.
And he's been playing his role in other games too, which is absorb all pressure in every team fight or whatever.
And collect a solo kill like he did in this game as well against Impact Casante. So shout out.
We're tracking this.
He got another one. Yeah, so we need to put our heads together. Chat, help us out. Let's make sure we're tracking all Tenacity solo kills, and let's see if he can get every laner. Oh man, just imagine if Fudge was the last in the collection. Except I think he already solo killed him, didn't he? Didn't Fudge kill him like 3 times and he killed him once?
I don't know.
Anyway, as being pointed out in chat, yeah, there's some issues with being late to plays or flanking for too long or flanking at the wrong opportunity. We kind of talked about that with Tenacity already. I think those are on the way to getting fixed, but there are always going to be some growing pains. So not going to dwell on that. We very much believe in giving these guys time, as we've seen that be a very effective strategy. So for now, just happy that there's some entertainment and hands behind it. So yeah, we talked about Tenacity. We talked about the indecision, the being late, all that stuff with him. Busio has been, it's really interesting dynamic. We talked about it on the last podcast where Doublelift is constantly building him up in his content, and we presume in person where, even like on plays where I'm like, oh, Busio screwed that up and he dies, and maybe Doublelift dies too. Like Doublelift sitting there like, no, that's my fault. I did that to Alan, blah, blah, blah. And it just seems like he is almost protecting this kid, which is fine because cool. Like, again, we are not the kind of people who want to like just hate spam the young guys when they're like not doing well. It's like, oh, sub them out. Like, that's not our move, right? Our style is give people time. But it's looking like very mercurial with him, where it's just you're not sure how it's gonna go. And this game, what was it? 7 deaths, I think. Yeah, 7-4 on the Rakan. Rakan has so much mobility and playmaking. And I mean, I feel like every time someone locks in Rakan, you're gonna get that one play where they're hiding in a bush and they find that sneaky W into ult and just sets up like a triple kill for somebody. Like, it always happens. We did not get that. We got a lot of defensive ults from him. We got a lot of, him going into tanky champions, like not really getting anything accomplished. A lot of quick deaths. I don't know. To me, it felt like he is not like comfortable on the champ, because we didn't see the same like expression with the Rakan that you might expect from other people.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. I guess maybe I didn't feel as strongly about his performance this game. In my mind, Rakan is one of those champs. It's kind of like Nautilus, right? Like, if you're playing from behind, if your team especially is behind on Nautilus, or any of these engage, like you have kind of one thing you can do, and you do it. It's intended that you do it really well. It's like, man, all the buttons you press are gonna just deliver you to the other team. At least, like, there are a couple times where he got good charms, like charmed 3, 4 people. There just wasn't enough damage behind it. And like,
it seemed like we were 1 or 2 where people were just not quite in position, like maybe a little early or something.
Right. Yeah. So it could be that they're disjointed too. I don't know. I think Make It Rain's in chat saying like, when you're behind on Rakan, it looks like you're really behind. I think that's definitely a little bit of what was going on here. And you know, to Doublelift's point, like some of these things were they were on him. It's a really interesting dynamic, right?
Mhm.
Because usually when you if you just watch a game and you don't have the commentary from the ADC, it's easy to watch some of these plays and just assume that it's like why would he
Yeah.
take that hook?
Yeah.
You know? So it's good commentary to get. It's interesting. And it does feel like um it's an unusual amount of I think like what's the word I'm looking for? It's an unusual amount of kind of like he's getting more of a pass than we'd
Yeah.
probably give.
Protection. That's what I was
Oh,
saying. Doublelift is protecting it.
yeah, right. And but you know,
I'm not mad
if
at
it
that. I'm
seems
just
like it's
saying,
coming
man.
from right, it seems like it's coming from a place of like again, like him calling out like this TP was way later. It had no reason to be this late.
He's
Like
he said
it's
Tenacity
him.
had brain rot. He
Yeah,
said my
he was
top laner had brain rot, and then he is
he's
tripping over
being very
himself to protect Busio, right?
he
Which
did say that at
uh,
different times, Busio. He's like, does he have a flash key? You know, like
yeah,
he's not.
yeah, yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
but it's not totally equal opportunity. I'm just saying, like,
No.
there's a lot more built in for Busio, which fine, man. I'm like, I feel like me pointing that out makes it seem like I have a problem with it. I actually don't. I'm just saying,
No. No.
I'm a little bit underwhelmed at this point from Busio, and I want to see some growth there. We saw like we didn't even talk about his Varus. His Varus was pretty good. Um,
Yeah.
I didn't think it was
Yeah.
like crazy, but he did have that one play where
Mhm.
he like flashed forward to finish off a kill, and the other one where he and the flash was like perfectly timed and very decisive and everything. The other and the holding the Q until the Silver Spell Shield wore off and like tossing that in. But he had some really like solid plays on the Varus. It obviously worked well within the confines of the bot lane with Doublelift getting insanely ahead, and Busio was surely part of that.
Yeah.
But it's like we need some standard support from him. Got a couple wins on the Lulu. Awesome. Got a Yumi
Yeah.
win. Delete the champ so no one cares. But some just standard sports. Like, are we going to see a Nautilus from him? Are we going to see a Braum?
Yeah.
And what's that going to look like? So
Yeah, I think we will. I think we will. I think those champs are coming in. They're gonna get added back into the meta. Riot's trying hard.
Yeah.
Once they can figure out how to get all their passwords back to use their work computers again. But like what you're describing, I think is him doing his job to a T, right? Like Doublelift doesn't get ahead to take over these games. And that's like if you're on the Lulu, if you're on the Yumi, that's basically your contribution, right? Like what's a crazy flashy Yumi outplay?
Sven had
I don't
him.
know. No.
Sven had like hyper healing on his Yumi. He's like
yeah.
healing at everybody. But
you know what I mean?
Your point
the
is very
Lulu,
yeah.
right. Like you hit the right things on the Lulu at the right time to keep your ADC both big on the screen and also like healthy enough to just stay in fights. So, I think I'm ready to give him a lot of credit because I think that's the role we've asked him to play so far. Is like, hey, make sure that Doublelift can win this game by himself if he needs to. Like, sure, all right. And I think the Rakan. So it will be interesting to see because this one was by far the worst look for a bot lane. And if that becomes more of the trend with this style of bot lane play, hard engage, then that would be a concern. But
what was the name
yet.
of the thing we used to say like last year where it's like just something to keep an eye on, right? It was like I forget what our thing was called,
yeah.
but that's kind of where I'm at with
for
this.
sure. Oh, well, yeah. What was it? I almost, I feel like we had a specific thing we said.
Yeah, we
It'll come
did.
back to me.
I just can't remember. But
is this a thing? Is it,
yeah, might be a thing. That's what it is.
This might be a thing.
Might be a thing. We're not sure yet. But it's like, yeah, okay. So Azir support, interesting. Varus support, interesting. Can I get can I get a Nautilus?
Yeah.
That's kind of just all I'm saying. We haven't even seen a Nami from him. I don't think they haven't played the Lucian Nami.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't. Wait,
yeah, no, they haven't.
Didn't we play Lucian Yumi? Was it
It was
Because we had it.
Zeri Yumi.
Have we not had a Lucian at all? He always got the Zeri. Wow.
I'm looking at it right now. Yep.
Interesting.
Anyway, we'll see. We'll see. I just want some standard support and then see where he lands with it. But obviously, again, just to reiterate, high hopes for Busio. Wishing him well. Think he has a lot of potential. So
Sure.
let's give him that time. I just think. Do you remember the thing with the Azir game? It seemed like he was given one job and one job only, and that was to peel for Doublelift. It's like, is he still doing that? He was playing very defensive, it seems like. I think that's what it is. I would like a little bit more aggression out of what he's doing. That's all I want. That's all I want. That's all I want. Standard support and aggression.
If we get him on some of these engaged champs and we don't see the aggression, it will be a thing.
It will be moved from
might be
DEFCON 1 to might be a thing to DEFCON 3 is a thing.
That's right.
DEFCON's a little strong, isn't it?
It's probably
more like the terror forecast or whatever.
Oh no.
Or
I was thinking like
orange or whatever.
Watch versus warning.
Let's go with that. That's a lot better than what I was saying. Forget I said anything else. Okay, listener questions and takes, Jordan. Why don't we do that? Don't just forget what I said. Yeah, just don't forget. Yeah, whatever. Guess what? First listener take, JC101. Are you shocked? I'm shocked. And guess what he said? Nice short take, by the way. 4 words. Tenacity needs more resources. My man wants some Tenacity carry play.
Okay.
Here's what I'll say about that. I'll go first. I'm down for giving Doublelift all the resources right now. I see where you're coming from because he's probably gonna have Tenacity's probably gonna have these moments, but there are those 3 deaths you can pencil him in for every game. And Doublelift can be a little cleaner and is proven to be more of a factor so far for us. In fact, he is probably the factor for us right now. So it would be cool, but at the same time, I would hate for those resources to come at the cost of Doublelift's resources.
I think it's just it's also a factor of the meta, like the perpetual meta, right? Just you're gonna have a much easier time winning through a fed ADC than top laner.
Yeah. I don't know if this is pronounced Ryan or Rain. It's different than like Rain Wilson. Is that his last name? Dwight from The Office? Anyway, just Rain or just Ryan because it's RAIIN. Says, all in all, I'm actually glad we lost against Fly. A loss is much more valuable than a win early on in the split. So a politician over here spinning the loss. I like it. It's like, actually, losing is good. Jordan, is a loss to FlyQuest much more valuable right now than a win early in the split?
I'm not going to go that far, but I will hold the line that we drew last week, which is not worried. FlyQuest is good. It's not a fluke. And, I think that I do have confidence that this is a team that will actually learn a lot from their losses. So I'm not going to say I'd prefer a loss, but I'll say I'm confident that we'll actually gain a lot from it.
I like losses when they humble you. I don't think this was that.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, remember what I said about like how competitive I think the top half of the LCS is going to be this year? Wins are going to matter for seeding, I think. I think seeding is going to be a thing, and you're not going to want to be on the bottom. Because like seriously, there's FlyQuest and there's like 5 teams basically that can like all kind of mix it up in there. We'll see about CLG, but anyway. Mont says, I don't think I ever saw Busio knock up enemies on Rakan the entire game. He was always using W to get out, and he still ended up dying.
Yeah.
May not be literally true, but it sure feels true, doesn't it?
It does.
It does. But we're not going to come down too hard on the young boy.
No. I just feel like there was so much, like he was getting stunned up by the Sejuani. They got 4 melee champs. There was so much CC on him all the time. It
Yeah,
felt
there
like
was. Yeah.
Silas was stealing the Maokai ult. Like it was kind of a nightmare,
It was.
right? Like
It was a
to try
little
to engage
bit of a
into.
draft nightmare. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So I'm not going to come down too hard, but it did kind of feel like that. Tatted Sparrow says, in a series of mathematical expressions, FlyQuest better than
Okay.
LCK, better than LPL, better than LCS, better than LEC.
he saved he got the correct order on the end there. That's good.
Yeah,
Well done.
always LCS better than LEC. So well done, Tatted Sparrow. I give you 100% correct.
Pass the test.
Despite FlyQuest being better than LCK, I'm not there yet. I heard that the first take on Hotline League tonight was that FlyQuest was going to win an international event. I'm not on that train. Be cool, but not going to say FlyQuest is better than LCK or LPL. However, we all can shake hands and hug on LCS being better than LEC.
That's right.
Joelito says Tenacity is like Stunt, but his go button seems to work far better. I don't know if you remember the thing we would always talk about with Stunt, who we love very much, by the way. Stunt was always like, I'm just going to find the go button and press it every time. And who cares what happens afterwards?
It was always on Nautilus too. Like he has a one-way go button.
Yeah. And he says, I think Busio still may be timid or nervous at times, so he plays well overall. So I think it is probably like a succinct way to say the conversation that we had about Tenacity earlier. So I think we're all right in line with Joel on this one. Should have just read that take instead of talk endlessly.
It's not. There are still some kinks in that button that we gotta figure out and work
there
out.
There are a lot of kinks in the Stunt button too.
That's true.
Which I think that's why the take exists. Is Joel wanted to bring up
it's
Stunt
comparative. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I get it. Yep. I will allow that. Yep.
All right. Someone pinged Glenn in the chat. Glenn the poet in the chat for his take. Now, something I know about Glenn, and that you'll know about him after reading his take. Glenn is a very dedicated Huhi fan. I've seen him defend his honor on Twitter very often. And because Glenn is a very quality man, right? Of the highest quality and caliber. He says, as a Huhi fan, does Busio need to, quote, prove anything Friday against Huhi and the Golden Guardians? Jordan, your take here. It's a great question.
It is. I don't think so. In part because I'm not I think collectively our bot lane, I don't anticipate will have problems. Like I expect that they'll have a winning lane and then transition that into a highly impactful mid late game.
Would that be proving something though?
I mean, when I read this, I think of it more of like, does he need to outplay Huhi in some way, right? Like I think that he could very, very effectively demonstrate that he is the right person for the job without really showing out,
Yeah.
And maybe so. I guess my response hinges on that technicality. I don't think he needs to single-handedly outplay Huhi, but I think a win would, of course, be nice.
I think he also has the added benefit of the rookie thing where everybody just kind of knows that he's supposed to get there eventually, so he's not being held to the same standard that Huhi would be. I also think the nature of the departure kind of factors in because I don't know about you. You probably feel the same way I do, Jordan, but it feels like, and Closer even said as much, I think, in an interview with, was it Travis maybe, or maybe David? I don't know. But he said that they kind of just felt stale and like it had run its course and they knew that changes were needed and it wasn't necessarily for any specific problem. And so it wasn't we got rid of Huhi because Huhi was stinking it up. It was just kind of because the team roster kind of ran its course. So I don't think there's that much of a chip on anyone's shoulder. I don't think Huhi's come into this I got to destroy them and prove them wrong.
Right.
I don't really think that's his mindset either. So I'm gonna say this isn't one of those games, but I will also say it'd be really fun if it was, right? I guess we'd be on opposite sides of that because Glenn is a big Huhi fan, but I like Huhi a lot. I always wish him well.
Sure.
Hat Dean said, not entirely sure, but it seems like Busio is taking some unnecessary flack from the fans. I feel like he got counterpicked pretty hard and is being scapegoated for a lot of Doublelift's mistakes. Could be wrong, but want to know your thoughts.
I'm actually interested to see, have you picked up the same sense? Because we've spent a lot of time talking about how it seems like Doublelift is making sure to give him a lot of wiggle room.
Yeah.
Are you seeing people kind of soft on Busio?
So what I did not do, which ordinarily I would do, is look at the 100 Thieves Reddit, because that's where the complainers mostly live. But I did not do that. But I did actually ask Hat Dean after sending this question. I was like, I'm curious to see if you saw like examples of this that I could put on screen during the show. And he said that he basically just pointed out to Doublelift in his video where he talks a lot about Busio's mistakes. And then said he has examples, but he was working, so unable to provide them.
Sure.
I don't feel like I've picked up a lot of that from Busio. In fact, I think, like I said, I wasn't on the 100 Thieves Reddit. I'm not in the 100 Thieves main Discord. That place is not always a good place to be, unfortunately. So I didn't get the live reaction there. And so I feel like you and I talking about it like are kind of like the first wave of like, hey, it's like not going super well. But even that, we couched with a lot of like, but he's young and he's cool and he's fine and he'll be fine and we don't need to be upset about it. So I don't know. I don't get that sense personally, Hat Dean.
Yeah, I don't either, which isn't to say that it's not the case.
And the counter pick point is very good, by the way.
Yeah. And if it's happening, then I think I would agree that it feels unnecessary or, unwarranted at this point. And, look, we were prepared for this team to be much less further along than they are.
Yes. Yeah. That's a great point.
I was kind of more prepared for them to be 2-4 than 4-2.
Yeah.
And I was going to be fine with that. So it feels to me like, and look, for me, one of the things is it's a duo lane. And I think when you have an ADC who is popping off as hard as Doublelift is, of course, credit to him. But it's kind of a, you share the credit, I think, to some degree when that's the case.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think he's succeeding in spite of, or Busio being dead weight.
Right.
Like, I think they're working well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, we're gonna pick up the pace on the last set of takes here a little bit. Catman, first time taker, I believe. I think Hat Dean was first time taker too. Catman said, I would say Tenacity and Busio are already top 5 in their role. They have their bad moments, but they are stepping up.
So it feels fair. Yeah.
There's a lot of good top laners in the league.
There is. Yeah.
I feel like support has actually been a little underwhelming, I think.
Yeah.
So, but I think Tenacity's been playing relatively better than Busio. It's possible. They certainly, I think they will land there by the end of the split or maybe by summer. And it's at least arguable, which I think is a thing. So that's good. Tenacity is surely better than Solo,
I would in lane, Tenacity is clearly better than everybody. Top 1. Solo Kill King. I would probably put Busio closer to that point than I would Tenacity at this point.
Interesting. Yeah, I think level competition plays a part in that, though.
Yep, for sure.
Bamatide88 says Tenacity needs to work on comms. Busio needs to, which is Tenacity Busio, remember tonight. Tenacity needs to work on comms. Busio needs to work on gameplay and confidence. I like that. Some of that falls on coaching to put him on the best champs. Fair enough. Busio has to improve. Tenacity is great. So It's a similar assessment to us, but we didn't talk about the champ selection angle as much. But that probably is a factor. And I do think it's got to be a pressure cooker to play with Doublelift, man. Like we talked about having 200,000 views on their basic review of your lane from your lane partner. That's got to be a little tough to deal with. So yeah, I think Busio needs a little shot of confidence. And that is an important thing not to overlook from a player development standpoint, is that, remember, we have had a dark past where at times we put people in positions before they were ready for them and did not do any favors to their confidence.
Yeah.
On the other hand, we have shown faith in players for a very long time, which I think is helpful to confidence. So Hundred Thieves just needs to be cautious of this. But I think that's a good thing to point out too. More Tenacity and Busio. The league dad says Tenacity is starting to come into his home. Maybe he meant come into his own. Or maybe autocorrect. I don't know. I like Busio's boldness in playing a wide pool of supports, but I still think he needs to tighten up on some of the enchanters. And then he put in parentheses and Rakan.
Yeah.
Very fair, league dad.
Yeah.
I have to look this guy up because I have seen the league dad before, but now I'm like, wow, there's a third dad out there.
Yeah, he's one of us.
Yeah, the All In podcast. I was gonna say, I know I'm familiar with the league dad. Okay, so shout out league dad and shout out the All In podcast.
Yeah.
Zach Remsburg said, this team is clearly talented with a clear weakness in communication and understanding of how to play as a team. Tenacity is very good but lacking awareness, while Busio just looks a little lost, to be honest. Doublelift seems to be fully back. Closer again seems completely ineffective on meta-engaged champs. Nothing really to rave or critique from Bjergsen. Definitely a top 3 team, though. I think, like, I tend to not like these takes very much because they're just like, it's like shotguns so many things into it.
Yeah.
But basically just like a 1-by-1 assessment. I think the fact that we're not talking much about Closer and Bjergsen says something in a way, right? Because it's like, I mean, we called out maybe a few specific things to them, but it doesn't feel like we've definitely haven't had a Bjergsen takes control of the game. Zillion game was pretty good. I need to walk that back. That just came out of my mouth.
Look, I gotta say, this is an interesting just slate of opinions from fans. This has actually been very, very enlightening. A lot of these are like needs to work on, timing, macro communications, champion pool, game sense. But great, they're doing great and they're very good, clearly. So it's like people have a long list of things that they feel should be done differently or better. And also so I have a theory. We'll test this over time. Like this one specifically, and look, this is not meant to be any flame at all. I just think it's very interesting. It's like very good lacking awareness for Tenacity. Busio's lost. Doublelift is fully back. Closer ineffective. Bjergsen is just kind of there. Top 3 team. It's like, whoa, okay, cool. Well, I think that the fan perspective is being shaped by Doublelift. I think he is fully shaping the narrative on this, as well as some of the other co-streamers, of course. But and I don't think it's a bad thing. He is a very critical person of both his own play and his team's play. And look, again, this team clearly is not fully baked. Like, I think, that's one of the things we've been talking about this whole time. They're going to get better over time. And I'd say right now they're overperforming where I thought they would be.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. What I hope doesn't happen is that people start to turn the corner.
Yeah.
To say this team's crap.
Yeah, I agree. No, but I do think that you did do a little bit of a caricature of his take, in a way. Like, I know you were reading his word, but he's couching it, right? He said the team's clearly talented. He said they're clearly talented. He said Tenacity's very good, just lacking a little bit of awareness, right? He did say Busio looks lost. And he said Closer seems completely ineffective on meta engaged champs. right?
Sure.
And then his Bjergsen was neutral. So I don't know. It's like it wasn't that harsh. But at the same time, I do think you're spot on with your reaction to it. It is funny to like make the laundry list and then say top 3 team. But I think it's just also we're in the LCS, baby. Everybody's got stuff to work on. It's very like unlike the Super Bowl we got last night, where the cleanest freaking football game I've ever seen played. Okay, so one more. Zella, Xela, something like that. If Tenacity gets his positioning or whatever the issue is with him being late to almost every fight sorted out, then he could very well be a top 3 player in the role and a dangerous carry plus Ornn player. 100% agree with that. I think and
I think he will.
Yeah, and I think he can get there too. So, All right, that brings us to predicting Super Week, Jordan. And then we can release ourselves into the wild. So contrary to previous Hunter Talk reports, this week is Super Week, not 2 weeks ago. And we get to finish out our first trip around the round robin. Isn't that crazy? This week, we're already halfway through. Game 1 versus EG, the Evil Geniuses, tied for second place at 4-2. They went 1-1 this past week, losing to FlyQuest, but beating C9. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I think this is the we talked about Huhi. This is the Tenacity's got to beat someday. We got to beat the bot lane. This is a huge one for us. I think we beat it. I think we do it. I think we beat him.
Ban Gwen.
Penguin. We've learned a few things about
I don't want to see someday
someday.
Gwen. Yeah, JoJo. I'm trying to think of JoJo's season because I feel like in fact I should just look at it. I feel like it's been really up and down for him.
He had a good Tristana game last week.
Yeah, his Tristana game was really good. He died 5 times on Aurelia. That's was 2-4-8 on the Rise against TSM. And then the CLG loss was really bad. He went and his 1-7-6 stinker in week 1. I feel like he's a little weak from where he's been.
I don't think this isn't JoJo in his final form yet.
Yeah, Tenacity has a long history playing Someday, so I think he'll have some insight on what to do with him. We also ourselves as an org plays. Yeah. Oh man, that will make me cry.
Do you think?
I also think our team has a little bit of experience with Someday, so there's that. Bjergsen diff. Maybe we get the Bjergsen pop off this game. Yeah, but I am most interested actually in the bot lane. Even more interested in the top lane. I want to see Doublelift versus FBI. And I'm kind of feeling like Doublelift is going to eat his lunch. So I'm going to go with us over EG.
Yep.
Game 1. Game 2 is versus CLG, tied for 7th place at 2-4. Kind of surprisingly. They lost both games last week to Golden Jardians and TSM.
Yeah. That's
Jolden Jardians, sorry.
Jolden Jardians.
I said that wrong. Jolden Jardians.
Evil Geniuses. That's a dub. CLG.
Counter logic jaming.
We beat them at League of Legends this weekend. It's not this weekend. It's this week. That's the
week. Thursday game, yeah. Yes, we do. We do indeed beat CLG. I don't know what the problem is, but we probably were going to beat them even if they were playing pretty well. So
it's kind of what we do.
Yeah, we kind of do. I feel bad about
CLG.
that, man.
Yeah.
Love me those players, man. CLG, well, our former players that are on CLG, love those guys. So, but I think it's a dub. And then we get the Jolden Jardians for the Friday game, tied for 7th place, 2-4 also. But contrary to Counter Logic Jaming, they have won both of their last 2 games versus CLG and IMT. So after losing the first 4, the Jardians have turned it around. Gory's getting integrated with the team. Gordon, what do you What do you think?
I think Tenacity gets 6 solo kills in lane. I think this game is over before.
Remember, this is not solo that he's playing. Did you forget that?
No, I know.
Yeah, this
Licorice
is in fact Licorice.
He had a supremely bad game.
He did.
Earlier.
I don't know what's wrong with him either.
I don't. That was a crazy game. So yeah, I think Tenacity is going to do just fine. I'm not worried. We're going to beat them.
So
it's a 3-0 super weak. Cole.
I feel very uncomfortable, but I am predicting a win here. I feel very uncomfortable with 3-0 super week. It just does not seem like it's going to happen. When I look at it, I know, look, of course, a lot of people are going to disagree on the EG thing. I think a lot of people probably see EG as the second best team in the league right now. And I'm fine. I'm not going to be upset if people disagree with me or think that they don't have a valid argument. I just feel like we're going to win that one just based on matchup, like player to player matchup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But man, I'm really uncomfortable predicting a 3-0 week. Ugh. So I kind of want to say we're going to drop the Jardians. I won't. I'm going to stick with the 3-0 and then probably have to eat it later.
We didn't last time. We predicted 2-0 and we got that. So I think it's going to be fine.
Well,
we're pretty good on predictions.
You predicted 2-0 last week, and that did not come to fruition.
No, I predicted a loss to Fly.
I think we got to check the receipts.
Yeah, check the receipts.
I apologize if I'm wrong, but
yeah, we did the same. We predicted pretty much the same, I think, throughout.
Oh, okay.
We got the 2-0, 1-1, and
I apologize then.
I think C9 is maybe the only game I lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, 3-0 weekend. That's it, or week, midweek.
I know, right?
It's going to be good to be celebrating that on the pod next week. So, guys, you know where to find us. We'll be back to our normal time, probably 8:30 p.m. Central. For
our super time.
There's going to be no Rec League this week. So, all of you people, sorry. You can watch the VOD of the Rocket League Rec League that we did this past week. It was really, really fun. And there are a ton of good clips from it. So, go for that. So yeah, we will wait to see you until a week from today. And until then, we'll say we love you and we miss you already.